Hey guys, Big Eternal Flames Gaming. We're here with another video for you guys, and we're continuing on this request line that you guys have asked for, doing drops in major locations. So this time we're dropping on hospital, and it's pretty busy from the get-go for this drop. And I've got with me once again Shadow. Say hi, Shadow.
Hey guys.
So as I said, this is what you guys have asked for. You've asked for us to go through all the major drops in PUBG. We're getting through them one by one. We're looking for a top 5 finish is our standard now. We've done plenty of top 10s, but we're now looking for top 5s. And I find the difficulty with this game always is trying to anticipate where end game is going to be. And so you're constantly working through the process of gearing up, making sure that you're communicating well with your partner, and then trying to work out how to get from where you are to where you anticipate end game's going to be, which is going to require doing a fair bit of legwork and using vehicles. So I'm going to throw now to Shadow, and he's going to talk about how we were looking to go about setting up this game. And yeah, so top 5 finish, guys, fingers crossed.
Okay, so the landscape of hospital is very flat. There's large spaces between buildings. There's only 4 vehicle spawns, no garages. There are 2 garages to the south and west in Georgia Pole Hills, and there's one in Georgia Pole, which is across the water, which isn't very helpful. So there's not much in the likes of vehicles, and we really had to loot quickly in hospital, because hospital, being on the edge of the map, is a long way away from end zones, like 90% of the time. So after we looted very quickly, we had to find a vehicle as soon as possible, and with the limited vehicle spawns, it was going to be very tricky. However, being all the way on the outside of the map and in a red area, high risk area, hospital does have some good drops. Obviously you don't get them all the time. I have a UMP and a pistol, which is not high loot, but it is supposed to have high armor and backpack drops. So I have a level 2 helmet here, and a level 2 vest. What you gotta watch out for at hospital is, as I said, the landscape. It's very flat and there's not much cover. The buildings are small. They get to about 3 stories up, and that's about it. Across the water, Georgia Pole, which is even further away, has more high-rise buildings. So if you're looking to get more cover and possibly better loot, you can also go to Georgia Pole. But hospital is supposed to spawn better loot. Here is one of the 4 vehicle spawns. And obviously we just saw someone go past in another vehicle.
So we got a little bit lucky with the vehicle spawns. As Shadow said, there's not too many in hospital, but I think, Shadow, what I just want to see your thoughts and recommendations on dropping here between 1 and 10, 1 being the easiest. How would you rate dropping at hospital for new players to the game?
Okay, so taking into account that it does have high loot in terms of backpacks, armor, and good weapons, versus being a long way away, 2 kilometers away from the end, from the first safe zone, and the fact that there's limited vehicles, it would have to be a 7 or an 8. It's really hard to start here as a beginner. It's better to stay in the middle of the island. And if you want to go for high loot areas, there's Shinki, bunkers, and if you want to go safe, Rozhok and Gatka. Hospital is a long way from the action. You're not going to find too many people coming here, especially if the end safe zone is a long way away, despite it having good loot. Because there's always, if Hospital is in the drop, there's also going to be Pubg, there's also going to be Yasnaya Poliana, there's going to be something else, because other players will realize that it is a long way away. So,
and we'll just talk quickly about some of we'll just talk about one of the features that came out in the recent update. You'll see on the left-hand side of the screen there's a speed boost button for the vehicle. So let's talk about that, Shadow.
Okay, so the speed boost is a nitrous oxide engine that was put in the past update. It makes the vehicle go faster at expense of using more fuel. So I didn't really want to use that much fuel, so I wasn't really using it, despite us being a long way away from the safe zone. But if you have to, if you're going from the other side of the island, and you want to use the speed boost or nitrous oxide, you're going to want to have gas cans, at least one, so that you can refuel. Because if you use the speed boost constantly, it does use a lot of fuel, and you will run out very quickly.
So, with getting that vehicle spawned back at school, I think that was absolutely critical in this situation. I think probably in any situation where you drop in hospital, rather, you're so far out, unless endgame is on the western side of the map, which, you know, it can happen, but I mean, you're going to be going a long way across country to get to what would likely be endgame. If you consider that endgame may end up being somewhere in the middle of the island, you've still got to cover a lot of territory, and that's, as Shadow was saying earlier, that is part of the inherent risk in dropping in a location like hospital. We had to come a long, long way to get to where we are now, and so we've now crossed the better part of the map to be where we are now, to get to a safe zone where we can sort of set up and hold up for a little while and hopefully get some kills. So we've actually pulled up on Shelter, which is a really cool drop, and it's nice that we had the opportunity to feature this for you in this video too, guys, because there's some really cool drops in here as well. We did get some good drops. There's plenty of obstacles to hide behind here, so you can hold up for a limited amount of time. The problem here is that at some point you have to come back out of Shelter, and when that happens, you could be ambushed quite easily at either end of the exit points of Shelter, and this is what we had to toss up before we decided that we'd come in here. We needed to loot, we needed to get some slightly better weapons, and we needed to get ammo and grenades, what have you, but you have to be mindful of the fact that you could get trapped down here pretty easily. And Shelter is, given where endgame was looking like finishing in this episode, as we're anticipating at this point, which is going to be on the eastern side of the island, that then meant that we had to come out, and we would still have to do a considerable amount of travelling to reach the position where endgame would be. So there's pros and cons to everything in this game, so we're just talking you through a few here, and I think we're pretty certain that we're going to get some people coming by at some point or another here. So it's kind of a wait and see situation, and you can snipe really well from some of these obstacles, but yeah, you can get caught as well.
Yeah, so just here, you have to realize that Shelter only has 3 ways of getting out. There's only 3 exits / entrances, so you can get trapped down here really easily. So right here, I'm hearing footsteps above me. At least 2 sets. That could be a duo, that could be 2 different people. And if they choose to come down here through separate entrances, it's hard to fight them off. So just like hospital, there's pros and cons, as Big said.
So there's all different sorts of tactics that you need to devise when you're playing this game. So this could be seen as a little bit of a negative tactic, but it's what we needed to do to allow play to continue at this point in the game for us. So you hedge your bets on how you're going to, strategize to get to endgame, and sometimes it means when you're looting, you're going to have to go to an area that it's hard to get out of, and there's going to be a risk associated with getting out of that area. But is it worth going in there or not? And in this case for us, we felt that this was the best way to proceed into this game to get us more safely into endgame. So we've talked about hospital, we've talked about shelter, we've talked about some pros and cons, we've talked about the vehicles, the need for vehicles to get from anywhere from hospital, for that matter, to where you might anticipate endgame to be. Guys, it's been great doing another video for you. We hope you like it. Like and comment and subscribe if you'd like to as well. Do comment, leave some comments on the video. Tell us what else you'd like to see in the game. We're going to continue doing some postings. We're going to do some funny postings as well, just some sort of quirky postings, things that happen in game that are humorous. And there's a lot of funny stuff that happens in this game too. It's a really funny, crazy game. So from myself, thank you so much for watching the video. We look forward to seeing you again next time.
See you guys in the next one.
All the best, guys. Take care.
You